Hello and welcome back to Designing Your Dream Relationship After Divorce. I'm Renee, I'm your personal coach, and in today's session, you're going to get even clearer about what drives you in love and dating and relationships as you discover your personality and energy profile. So we're going to do disc profiling today, and this is going to really help you understand yourself so much better on this journey. It's also going to help you navigate other people and what drives them so that you understand what's actually driving them as a person, because once you know their energy type and their personality type, it helps you really understand why they are the way they are and what really matters to them in terms of dating and love and relationships. And finally, we're going to look at masculine and feminine energy. There just seems to be so much confusion around this, and I'm going to help you tap into your natural energy type, which is going to increase your chemistry and passion in your relationships and help you to maintain that long term. Okay, so let's have a look at the 4 different disc profiles now. And the reason that I call them often energy profiles is because when we call them personality profiles, it starts to box people in. So when we say energy, we move in and out of different energy, just like we move in and out of these 4 profiles. So we'll have one that's more dominant, and that's our natural profile, but we obviously move into different types depending on the situation and what we're required to do in our life at the time. So let's have a look first at the Ds. These are your dominant driven profile, and they're usually business leaders, CEOs. They run their own business or company. They're very goal and results oriented. They're very logical minded. It's a masculine energy type, so it's quite a strong energy profile in that respect. And they don't like to waste time. Time is really important to them because it's all about achieving things. So their biggest fear is being taken advantage of, and they'll make decisions based on weighing up all the facts and the information, and they'll make a decision quickly based on what's the worst case scenario in this. But they will make a decision quickly about what they want. They're driven very much by certainty, so they like to have a lot of certainty and significance. So they like to be made to feel significant, and if they're not, then obviously that's not going to fill them up their core needs in that way. So in terms of dating and relationships, very much results oriented. What's in it for me? They like to be the pursuer. So again, that masculine energy type that likes to pursue. They like to take control of the relationship and win over the other person so that they can achieve their relationship goals. They will often say what's on their mind. They're not too afraid to speak their mind because they're quite dominant as a person. So they certainly like to have a fair bit of control over what's happening in the relationship. They'll let you know how they're feeling. Now, if you are dating a D, or you are a D, these are just some things to be aware of so that you understand them better. They're mismatches, so they actually will mismatch the energy, and that can be a little bit hard for some people to deal with, whereas other types match your energy. So I'll go into that a little bit more in a moment. So as far as successful dating and relationships, the Ds, it's good for them to learn how to compromise instead of insisting that their way is the only way. Allow their partner to speak without interrupting, and this again is that need for things to be, they'll speak quite fast. They like things to happen quickly, so if someone's a bit slow, they'll often interrupt the conversation. And just make requests instead of demands, and just be a bit more allowing. Allow other people's views as valid, and it's good for the Ds to remember just to lighten up, not take everything so seriously. So relationships are meant to be fun as well as reaching your goals. Okay, so let's have a look now at the Is. So the Is is a completely different energy. It's quite bubbly, sociable. These are the influencers, okay? They are great salespeople because they are great with people. They get along with people. They love being around people. They're often the entertainers. They love fashion and new things, and they'll often be into labels and different, like wearing nice shoes and things like that. So their biggest fear is rejection. They love everyone to like them. Energy type is feminine, so they are a matcher. They'll match the energy of whoever they're with, and that's why people feel like they can relate to them quite easily, which makes them great in socially and for in sales as well, if we're looking at business. They're driven by variety, so they like a lot of variety and uncertainty, and so they'll like a lot of spontaneity in a relationship. And they're also driven by love and connection. So they're their top two drivers. They definitely seek approval and admiration from the other person. They are very romantic. They love the whole romance and the thrill of the chase. They are very feeling oriented. So they make decisions based on how they feel. They're very intuitive. So they will base a decision of, is this the right person for me, based on how they feel about the person. So these are the people that can fall in love at first sight, and they just base it off, how do I feel about this? Okay. They like unexpected surprises and given a lot of compliments and admiration from their partner and attention. They're going to enjoy a lot of variety and enjoy socializing quite a bit. So they'll often have a big network of friends and people in their life. So for the eyes, a good thing to remember is to always just be aware that sometimes their personality can become a bit flirty or come across as flirty because they're so open and they just love people. So just to be aware that that can sometimes come across as a bit flirty, and focus more on their date rather than just themselves. Committing is sometimes a little bit more of a challenge to an eye because they don't like to feel confined. So, and just be aware that sometimes they need to just hold back on the gushiness and not get too carried away. So just hold back a little bit about how they're feeling to start with, because it can come across as being a little bit intense at times. Okay, so let's have a look at the S in DISC. So this is your steady personality or energy profile. So these people are very loyal, committed. They're very good team players. So they're often your teachers, nurses, people that are looking after people. So they are a very soft nature. It's very feminine energy. So again, the S is an energy matcher. They will match the energy of the other person. So personalities like Ds actually like the energy matches. They like the S because they will match their energy. Okay, just like the I will as well. So they're driven by certainty. So they like a lot of certainty and love and connection. Okay, so the S is very cooperative and accommodating. They like to be identified with their partner, so they like acknowledgement. They are very committed to a one-on-one type of relationship, and they see dating as a very progressive and step-by-step process. So they don't like to rush into things, and they don't like to make decisions too quickly. So this personality type is a very much a period of time convincer. So they like to weigh things up and then make a decision, but they don't like to be rushed into a decision. So they are often looking for approval and the pursuit by their partner, and they like calm relationships and without too much stress. Okay, so you're probably starting to envisage some people that you know who are these types of personalities as we're going through it. So for the S's out there, if that's you, tips for dating is to voice your opinion more often. It's okay to say how you feel and what you think and speak up. Okay, so be open to some changes in the relationship and just be more assertive when appropriate. Attend to your own thoughts and feelings. So these people, because they are the giver, they'll often make sure that they put other people first. So it's important as an S that you also put yourself first and say no when something's not right for you. And also don't get too upset if there's a disagreement, because even though the S loves peace and harmony, it's okay to have a disagreement with your partner. So if you are with with one of these personality types, you can also understand what their fears are and what drives them. So the last one in our disc is your C. These are your conscientious and compliant energy profiles. So they like to follow the rules. They're very perfectionist, very analytical, quite reserved. So these are people like scientists or usually people that work in government type roles who are they really just blend in. They're very specialised in their field. They concentrate very much on one thing at a time. They're not particularly social, so if you go to a party, you may not even notice that they're there. They just sort of blend in quite a lot, and they're quite happy with that. Okay, their biggest fear is criticism because they are perfectionists and their work is very important to them. This again is a masculine energy type, and they are an energy mismatcher as well. So they will mismatch the energy, and they're driven by certainty and significance as well. So they approach dating in a very cautious and rational manner. They are very loyal, so they'll only date one person at a time, and they seek a lot of acknowledgement. They like to be right. They like to share quality time, and they'll often analyse the relationship before letting their guard down. Okay, so they're very objective. They don't get carried away by their feelings like an I would. Okay, so they're very much into having a partner with substance and depth, and they don't really like a lot of unexpected situations and surprises. So they'll enjoy doing things with their partner, and a very loyal and committed type of profile. Okay, so for the C's, this is some good advice for you to be less critical and more lighthearted. Open up more about your feelings and yourself, and accept that others don't need to become more like you. And just give and receive compliments, and get more involved, and realize that it's not always good to spend time just on your own. Okay, so this helps you understand the DISC profile types. Go in and do your DISC profile, because it will really help you understand yourself and people that you are meeting now. You'll be able to analyze them. You'll be able to understand their profile type a lot easier. And by doing that, you can understand what drives them as a person. Because when we can meet other people's needs and understand what drives them, we really can relate to them so much better and fill their cup up so that they're feeling very fulfilled in the relationship. Okay, so I hope that helps you understand the 4 different profiles a lot easier. Your D's, you can see how they dress. It's usually quite corporate, clean cut. They like good shoes. They often have clean cut haircuts. It's all about the results. Okay, your I's are usually dressed in brands and labels, and they like flashy things, and they always love having a lot of shoes and nice shoes, and it's all about having lovely things, and they're usually people that are quite bubbly and outgoing. So you can pick your I's quite quickly. They're very social. And then your S's are a little bit more reserved in their dressing. They'll be a little bit more of that mother energy. So it's not about standing out necessarily, but they'll be dressed very feminine, because it still is a feminine energy. Okay, and then your C's wear clothes that they almost just blend into the surroundings. They are quite, you could almost call them the wallflower. The men wear the big boots. They're very much into just being on the job, focused on what they're doing, that scientist type personality, very analytical. So now that you're starting to understand how to pick the energy types, it really helps you understand what their key drivers are, why some personalities are mismatching energies, and how to deal with that. But there's definitely profiles that do suit each other a lot better, And this is something that you'll obviously pick up on as you go along, okay? So that's explains the disc profile. So let's have a look now at the masculine and feminine energy. It's very important for dating and really important that you tap into your natural energy type. Okay, so now let's have a look at the masculine and feminine energy types and what the characteristics are of each. Understanding this and knowing how to tap into and enjoy your natural energy, whether it's masculine or feminine, is really important in dating and relationships. Now, the greater the contrast between the two, the masculine and feminine energy, the more passion and sexual chemistry there will be in the relationship. So this polarity and contrast is what creates the attraction. Now, we're talking energy types here, not gender types. So while most women will have more feminine energy and most men will have more masculine energy, obviously there's times where a woman will have an equal amount or even more masculine energy. And it's the same with the men. Sometimes men will have we all have a blend. So there'll be men that have a combination, and then there'll be men that even have a bit more feminine energy. So it's a scale, and we all have a combination of both. When you have a very feminine woman and a very masculine man, obviously that contrast creates that chemistry and passion. It may even be the same if you've got a more masculine energy in a woman and a more feminine energy in a man. That in itself will also create that attraction and passion. Okay, so we're talking energy, not necessarily gender. So let's have a look at the two now and just be clear on what they look like and then how to channel and enjoy that natural energy profile within yourself. Okay, so first of all, the feminine energy is very soft, loving, and nurturing. It's very emotionally driven, it's intuitive, and it is usually the one that creates the home environment. Okay, very free, flowing, and open. It wants to be filled up, and it's very receiving. Okay, it's very important to have trust, connection, and praise. The masculine energy loves a challenge, it loves taking risks, competition, so it's more the provider, and it's very much about giving, being strong and controlled, very logical and analytical, and it wants that freedom and release. It's very purpose driven, and it needs attention and reassurance to feel significant and needed and respected. Okay, so in terms of dating and relationships, the things that can affect relationships is if for a woman or that feminine energy is if it feels unsafe, unseen, or misunderstood, or if they're being criticized for their physical appearance. So the feminine energy loves to be adored and admired for their physical appearance and really be worshipped. The male energy intimacy killers are being controlled or criticized or shut out, and also being told that he's wrong. So quite obvious, those ones. So here's a general guide between the two, just for the men out there, or just to remember that masculine energy. Just be a gentleman, be strong, confident, but take the lead and pursue your partner. The woman loves to be pursued, okay? So for the men, it's okay for you to pursue and take the lead, all right? And really compliment your partner, remind her how beautiful you think she is. But don't just focus on physical appearances all the time. Also, compliment her also emotionally, or let her know what you like about her emotionally as well. That connection is very important. So communicate with her so that she feels connected, appreciated, and heard. And that will allow her to open up as well. So just making her reassured and showing her that she's a priority in your life. Okay. Also important to be respectful and loyal, and let her know that you only have eyes for her. So the feminine energy, a woman absolutely loves to think that they are being worshipped, adored, and appreciated. For the women, learn to receive and be open and nurturing. It's okay to receive. It's okay to be independent, but it's really important to let the man know that he's needed. This allows him to feel like he's needed and wanted and appreciated and significant. So being soft and gentle and vulnerable is very beautiful and attractive. This doesn't mean you need to be weak, okay? It takes a lot of courage to be vulnerable. So enjoy just allowing yourself to be open, leaning on him, letting him know that he's needed and important. Let him pursue you, but let him know when he's succeeding. He needs feedback as well. Don't be over controlling, possessive, or needed, because the masculine energy likes to release and have freedom. So anytime a woman's trying to be a bit too needy or possessive, this is when the masculine energy will go the other way. Loyalty and trust are very important to him, as well as supporting and acknowledging his achievements. He really wants to be the hero, okay? He wants to be your hero. So let him be that and let him know that he's appreciated for what he does. Okay, so I hope that clears up some of the confusion around our roles in dating and relationships and allows you to enjoy, for the women being feminine, for the men being masculine, getting back to that natural energy type, enjoying it, channeling it, and keeping that passion burning. So thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you on the next session.